So, when it comes to storytelling and narratives, there are some major aspects that can determine the tone your series might have or the type of emotions it will radiate. One of these aspects is the character arc. To kind of determine the impact of the character in a story, his or her position within that story must be known. And the character that really drives a story or kind of give it a path to follow most of the time is the main character. So in this video, I will be analyzing, talking about character arcs and basically just focusing on that of the main character of Monster 8, Kafka Hibino. If you're interested in knowing the different narrative possibilities that his character might have, make sure to stick around and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that yet. And consider liking the video if you found it entertaining, cause it helps quite a bit with the algorithm. Without any delay, let's jump into it. You see, when it comes to a story, you may hear certain people claim that stories are either plot driven or character driven, but this is an utterly false paradigm. Let me get to the point. Character and plot are in fact two sides of the same coin. They can't exist without each other. The external plot or conflict exists to provide a dramatic visual metaphor for the character's inner conflict, and that's when the character arc comes into play to sublime the connection and the meaning of the story. There are some questions that need to be answered when analyzing or writing a character arc, and that's: how does the story begin? Is it in a good or happy place, or rather in a less than good place in which the character involved believes that a lie is holding him back? It is possible for a character to live in a comparatively less than good place and for him to believe in a truth that makes him happy despite the circumstances. I will not bother trying to explain all the different types of character arcs that exist within stories. There are quite a few of them, so I will concentrate solely in the type of arcs that the main character of Kaiju number 8, Kafka, can take. So for Kafka, we have two types of arc he can have given how the story was introduced, how it is going about, and that's the flat arc or the corruption arc. Given our context, Kafka begins his story in a relatively less than good place where he believes in a truth, and that's the existence of kaijus and their evilness. He believes in the need to fight them, he believes in the promise he made when he was younger, and that's what he believes in, and I will refer to it as his truth. If we take the possibility of a flat arc, the flat arc here is an arc in which the character will have to use the truth he believes in from the start of the story to kind of change the world around him, and from the perspective of the narrative, this might be the path that Naoya Sensei chooses to take with the main character of his story. Because when we look at the story, the themes, the principles surrounding it, we have the feeling that it is a good story that will be driven to a happy ending. First of all, we have Kafka and Ashiro Mina. You see, Ashiro Mina in this story does not only represent the strongest female, but the whole series, the entire narrative is kind of driven by her. She is the center and the reason why Kafka is thriving and why he is doing all what he is doing. That promise he made when he was younger with her is something that have a lot of impact in the character of Kafka. In the first chapter, we witness him asking himself why he is on the other side. That's, he is basically asking why he has the lame life he is having and why he is not being able to achieve his goals, to respect his promise. But then he is given this chance to get up and be the one able to stand by her side, a chance to respect his promise, or I would say a chance to continue moving forward. As a big man once said, every man needs a reason to keep moving without stopping.
みんな何かに酔っ払ってねえとやってられなかったんだな。みんな何かの奴隷だった。
This promise is what defines his character, and by the time he achieves his goals, this character arc will either change tone, thus there will be a character development or a change in character arc, or it will end the narrative of the entire series. Because a flat arc storyline for a character is one that won't be subjected to drastic changes within that arc. That doesn't mean he won't be confronted to oppositions or anything. He will surely meet obstacles like being thrown in jail. The truth in which he believes might even be tested, but he will never step away from it. Just like we had Kafka in the recent chapters being on the verge of death, kind of trying to prove his humanity. He will experience a bunch of stuff, but he will never step away from his truth, from his purpose, and from his promise. If we look at a character like Naruto, we clearly have there a flat arc character type. That He have never been corrupted nor been delusional, and he succeeded in changing the world around him by achieving his goals and sticking to the truth he believed in. So it's really important to note that change between the world and the character. So the second option that Naoya Sensei may choose, and that will make his story a little bit more darker, is the corruption arc. And in this arc, we have the character being lured away from the truth he believes in, and that's by a lie. Thus, the character chooses darkness even if he is given the choice for light. It is possible for a character to kind of change from an arc to another within a story, and for this, a certain number of events needs to happen, and this is when the character kind of faces an experience that makes him accept the lie, fully rejecting the truth. This type of arc is for stories that gives this dark tone, and I can really imagine this story going in for a much darker tone. We all know that kaijus are evil and that they are the villains of the story, yet we don't know why they attack nor where they come from. For now, we just consider them as extraterrestrial beings, but depending on the story and the reason behind this kaijus attack, the story might change, and drastically that is. If you read Attack on Titan, then you can kind of relate to what I'm talking about, because though this story might feel different, it is very similar to Attack on Titan in a way that for now the themes, the vibes kind of feel the same like the beginning of Attack on Titan, and it's not a bad thing though. As I said in my previous video on Kaiju number 8, what is important is the execution of the themes within the story. Looking back to Kafka and trying to analyze the character development he might have, I think it is not that far for him who only wants to be able to fight by Mina's side. He is already powerful enough, and his fight right now in the story is not more about trying to become powerful, but it is to be accepted and prove that he is reliable and that his power can help the humans. It won't be that difficult for him. Remember, he is a very nice person and he has that hero thing, that living for others disease, and so long as he is not subjected to something that breaks that off, proving to people that he is worthy won't be that of a problem. Kaiju number 8 or Monster 8, I don't really know how to refer to it yet and choose between these two names. They are too similar yet they sound so different. Anyway, this story has a lot of potential since it is still at its premises. That's basically it for the video. I hope you enjoyed. Tell me in the comments down below what arc you prefer or what arc you think Kafka might have. And even for any other character, I would like to hear your thoughts. Make sure to smash the subscribe button and like the video if you enjoyed. As always, this was Mr. Matt. Don't get cooked and stay off the hook. Peace.